Hello and welcome to Inside Right, my thoughts on the Premier League this weekend. Obviously, the big game last night was Arsenal-Manchester United. I watched intently as a Liverpool fan, hoping that Arsenal drop another lot of points, so Liverpool are closer to the title. After last night's 1-1 draw, Liverpool need 16 points to win the league, meaning every win that goes down by 3. We win our next game, 16 becomes 13. But also, if Arsenal lose, that 3 come off that as well. So we can have a weekend where if Arsenal lose and Liverpool win, 6 points are needed less than prior. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time for a Liverpool fan. However, let's talk about the Arsenal side of the Premier League. This season was their season. At the start of the season, they needed to lift up one more gear. And if they did that, they would absolutely have won the Premier League this campaign. That hasn't happened. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd be extremely disappointed. But I'm not sure who's to blame here. I'm still trying to figure that out in my head. I'm not sure if it's the players. Is it Mikel Arteta? Is it the owners who don't want to bring in a striker? I'm still trying to figure that out. It's a confusing one because you look at the last 2 seasons with Arsenal. I think 2 seasons ago when Liverpool was struggling, and because there was no real other contenders apart from them and City. They were still a little bit immature, I felt. City with an easy win in the end after the last 6-7 weeks of the Premier League. Arsenal started to drop off, losing games and dropping points. I remember there was a series of draws within those early round 30 games. Last season, City got 91 points, Arsenal 89. I reckon Arsenal should have won last season, to be brutally honest. But City, yet again, are really good at this. Pep Guardiola is really good at this. It's those little defining moments in seasons which win you the trophy at the end. And last season, City's win came from that Tottenham game. Last minute of the game, Ortega put a save on Son's shot to get him the points. And there you go. City win the league. It's little stuff like that. And as a Liverpool fan, I've seen it over the years with Jurgen Klopp and Pep in particular over the past 5, 6, 7 years. Little stuff which in the big picture give you the victories, give you the glory. And I think this is, if I'm Arsenal right now, I'm extremely disappointed. Extremely. Because no one would have thought Liverpool have done that well, right? They have. Liverpool have been outstanding. And I think if you went back to last summer, for England last summer, no one would have thought Liverpool. In fact, I remember watching the Premier League predictions with Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher. No one put Liverpool top 4. No one. And they're going to win the Premier League, However, yes, Arsenal have had injuries, but so has everyone else. Everyone's had injuries. Injuries are going to come. You can't keep going into season after season, and this is not the pick on Arsenal, but every club, and keep blaming the injuries. I get it if you've had a really, really bad run of injuries, like what Tottenham have had over the Christmas period in particular. When you got 10 plus injuries, I get it. But Arsenal, man, you're going to get injuries. Everyone's going to get injuries. When you got, Saka out and Odegaard, that's not an injury crisis. It shouldn't be. If you want to win the Premier League, you can't win it with 2 players. You need 11 plus more. You need a squad of quality players who can win you games. You can't rely on 2. It's not how it works. I think transfer-wise, it's hard to say. They needed a striker, right? I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and they say Arsenal should have bought a striker in January, which I agree. But it's got to be the right striker. It's got to be the person who you feel like in 4 years' time is still going to be delivering and hopefully is a world-class player in 4 years' time. You'd hope for that, right? But I don't. This is where I disagree. I don't see the point in rushing that process in January, right? I get it, that just means that the owners don't really want to win the Premier League, and now they're gonna struggle without a striker. That's true, but if you scramble and rush for a striker in January, you're probably not going to get the right person. Where if you assess your options in January, keep going. Hopefully the team does as best as it possibly can, which I believe they're not right now. Going into the summer, putting a big price tag on whoever you want to go and grab. Hopefully it goes through. Get the player you want, or second, third choice, whatever. Start fresh, new season, new striker, another hole which has been filled into the team. So I don't understand this whole, striker talk to that extent. But yet again, Arsenal, since that West Ham game, it's just been all downhill. That West Ham game weekend, that felt, I'm going to talk about it from a Liverpool point of view, but that weekend felt like 6 game weeks in one. Like, that one loss to West Ham for Arsenal felt like they'd lost 4 or 5 games in 6 weeks. Like, it was big, a season-defining moment. And now there's no coming back for them this season. Ødegaard's back. They scored 7 goals against PSV midweek. But they can't seem to get it working, get the machine operating the way they do, usually at the start of every season in the past 2-3 years. They can't do that at the tail end. So, yes, they need a striker, but you've got to do better with the players you've already got. You have to. Look, Raheem Sterling's out of form, but if you're a good coach, you can probably try and get him into form. I know with Arne Slot right now, think of how little game time players like Harvey Elliott, Darwin Núñez doesn't start as much as he did under Klopp. Federico Chiesa, right? He's barely started at all. However, when they come on, impact players. Impact. They want to do the best for the team. That's a healthy squad. And you're lying to yourself if you think that's the case at Arsenal right now. Not a healthy squad at all, from what I can see. And probably it was a squad without, an abundance of depth in it. You look at Liverpool right now, you look at that bench when they're all fully fit. And I mean, that bench team can probably take on everyone else in the Premier League on their day. Absolutely. Arsenal don't have the players to bring on who are going to change a game. Harvey Elliott, PSV. Darwin Núñez, Brentford. Sorry, the dogs. Anyway, Darwin Núñez, Brentford. These players, Wataru Endo, even if they get 2 to 5, 10 minutes, whatever it is, they'll still give their 110%. And that's why I believe Liverpool are going to win a few trophies this season. This is why I believe this is the start of a new dynasty. Because Arne Slot has got everyone in that club believing that when their opportunity comes, they can take it. So all credit to Arne Slot. Arsenal. Now it's the big question of, so what, next season? Like, how much longer do they wait? Seriously. I mean, you've won, since Arteta's came in, an FA Cup, which was 6 years ago, 2 Community Shields, whoop-de-doo, no one really cares about the Community Shield. And I just feel like it's sort of stayed the same. There's been no improvement now. This season was the season for them to bring it up another gear, to take another step, and they haven't done that. In fact, they've probably declined a little bit, to be honest with you. It's just not good enough. It's really disappointing. So what for next season? Is it going to be the same? They would need to do some serious investment coming into the summer for a striker. Coming into the summer for probably another midfielder of the qualities of Declan Rice. They need those types of players. And if they don't do that, then I can't see any more increase in quality from them. So, yeah. Arsenal, man. And we won't talk about Man United today, but oh my goodness me. Wow. I mean, that's a diabolical situation. That's a situation which is, in my opinion, almost past the point of no return. Like it is just gotten out of hand. Every single corner of that club is awful right now. Awful, you can tell. And I kind of feel so, I said I wasn't going to talk about it 30 seconds ago, and here I am. I'll finish off with Ruben Amorim. Good coach, in my opinion. But I think any coach right now trying to take on United, it's not going to work out. That's just my opinion. But like I said, I think it's almost at the point of no return, and it's irreversible. So it'll be interesting to see. You give Ruben 12 to 18 more months. If the situation gets worse, then who knows? Who knows? They're not going to get European football. Here comes the drilling. They're not going to get European football. They're not going to be able to afford the players they've already got. And if you're a player, why would you want to go to United? Why? They can't afford you, or the best players, and there's no desire to go there. You look at... God, that's going to be annoying, isn't it? You're just going to have to deal with that. You look at United even in 2017. They could buy whoever they wanted. They bought Pogba. They bought Lukaku. I'm not saying they worked, but I'm saying they could go out there and get some of the best talents in the world. Maybe not Lukaku. Maybe he's not one of the best talents in the world. But after that United signing, they couldn't just go out there and get whoever they wanted, which United for decades could do that. They could get whatever player they wanted. And now they... Boy, I seriously don't know who they're going to sign. There would have to be something... It's almost... next season they're going to need a miracle to get into a European place. A miracle. Because, boy, that club, it's almost irreversible. Alright, I'll finish it up on that note. Stay tuned. There'll be more of these. More on the Premier League. More on the, I would say, title race. But more like Arsenal, City's, and Liverpool situations individually. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.